When the tumor hit, I was 14 when this happened. They finished the main surgery. I wake up 3 days later, and I've got tubes and wires running all over my body. I have a feeding tube that's threaded up through my nose down into my stomach. My jaw is wired shut. I have a tracheotomy. I've got a drain right here, a catheter in my chest. I have a catheter in my cash and prizes area so I can go to the bathroom. I had a skin graft that was healing on my right thigh. Every single part of my body hurt. They realized that I've got an infection about 10 days after the main surgery. And so they've got to go in and clear out the infection. They didn't want to put me completely under with anesthesia just because they weren't sure that my body could take another actual sedation like that. So they just gave me a cocktail of morphine. When I fell asleep, I was like, okay, this isn't going to be crazy. I'm going to wake up feeling fine. I woke up and it felt like that. I was like, that was super fast. So not only did they clear out the infection, but they were also going to move the feeding tube from my nose directly into my stomach. In order to do that, they have to inflate your stomach. So I wake up and I'm thinking everything is done. And I quickly realize that they haven't put in the feeding tube yet. They don't know I'm awake. So I've got a cold washcloth over my eyes so they can't see that my eyes are open. That's prevent my eyes from drying up. I'm shackled down because I'm not out. Remember, I'm sedated. I can't talk. I can only make noise because my jaw is wired shut. I'm doing everything I can to like jostle back and forth to let them know I'm awake and to not stick me directly in the stomach. Before I can do anything, they start inflating my stomach with air. And because I'm awake, my gag reflex starts to kick in. And all of the Pedialyte and Ensure that I had had a few hours before starts to come up and out, and I'm vomiting, clogging my trach, my only source of breathing.
Yes.
Because they have my stomach inflated, they go ahead and put the feeding tube in. I feel every pierce going in my stomach. And while they're doing it, they're like, he's awake, give him, hit him again. I remember that phrase, hit him again.
Crazy.
And so I could feel my adrenaline kick in. It was like a cold sweat, very heightened awareness type of thing. The cocktail kicks back in. I fall back asleep. 3 days later is when they finally let me come out of the induced coma. And there was this little whiteboard, probably about this size, and it was like, smiley face on this end and a frown face on this end. And my mom asked me if I needed anything, and she asked if I, how I was doing. Took a dry erase marker and I crossed out all the faces and I said, just let me die. 14 years old, body broken for the 4th time. No soccer, no baseball, no school, no friends. I was done.